one of the main roadblocks that I faced was coming back to Nigeria, not knowing anybody, not knowing where to start. Everybody in Nigeria is stocked up because trust me, down here, not a lot of people are willing to assist you. For me, I needed assistance because I'm coming into a country where I didn't know left or right. But I didn't know I was like a blind mice moving in a dark room, in a maze. So I didn't know where to get the food or how to get the food. And online, there is no much information online. So I was just stranded alone in there. And then finding, and I wasted a lot of money and a lot of time running around trying to figure out how to survive physically. And a lot of people, and when once you tell is I also learned that it's a bad idea telling people some of your successes in history because it actually makes the journey difficult because a lot of people once they see that sometimes see it as a threat, so they don't even want to assist or they basically waste your time or things like that because I think a lot of people down here in Nigeria are frustrated and they do some things to make you frustrated and feel their pain. It's like they want you to feel their pain and the way they want to understand them, and the way they feel that you can understand them is if you to feel their frustration. So they sort of like put things in place for you to face that frustration. So, and I don't think that's the best strategy in it. But that for me, the crab system. Um, and for me, I then learned that the best approach for me to survive is to work online, and then I started trying to get jobs online, got some jobs online, and but that also come at a cost because as someone that doesn't know anybody locally, if I'm making money online, it's not just about the cash. The money is nothing. Which no, it's something. Don't get me wrong, but once you don't have the job that you're doing online, you don't have people, so you're not secure. Security comes from community. For me, for what I've noticed down my security comes from community, because if you have a job online and you don't have anybody locally, like literally you don't have anything locally, and all you have is online. And this online is not people from the same country as you, but people from the UK because I studied in the UK, I spent my time in the UK. The moment your internet goes off and that is no longer online is no longer in the picture, people are not paying online anymore, you lose everything again. But once what keeps you going as a person is when you're within a community and that provides the security that you need, the sense of community, you know. So that for me was a big lesson because I made some money for a while until I made some money for a while working as an accountant, as a data scientist for an accounting data, and I hated accounting, because I like challenges, and accounting for me was plus and minus mathematics and working on data and a lot of memorizing, FRS, FRS, what's it called? UK gap, 106 and UK gap and those sort of things. And there's a standard structure of I hate memorizing. But personally, I hate anything that has to do with memorizing. I like logic. I like deriving things from first principle. I'm a physicist, and that's what we do with our life. Meaning, we like to understand and then make things up from nothing, rather than memory, things I could just look up. So part of the reason why I hated the job was that. And after a while, and I come back to my environment where I didn't know anybody again, and there's no way for me to make money. But if I had had a community, at least I would feel more stable. I feel more safer. I feel more like there is a community that I'm part of this market space, this industry, this supply chain. So even if I'm not making any money, there's still some level of safety that at least the market space or the pipeline are still going to be fine. They're still going to generate revenue. They're still going to make money. So at some point, I'm still going to be able to. But then just be completely isolated. I was isolated. Let me say, I was isolated for a large part of the past 6 years. Has been me being very, very isolated. Meaning like about 80 to 90% of the past 6 years was me alone in my room, researching, working, or working for some company online and building.
I can
You
I
know,
can get that. I can
you know,
feel that loneliness. Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately.
So sometimes you sort of like get addicted to the loneliness as well. I'm not going to complain of it because sometimes solitude there is some there is some level of there is something that happens when you're in solitude for a really long time, and that's what I meant by things become you start to think. I start to think about God more, and for me I really appreciate honestly I really appreciate thinking about God. I really I really I'm not religious and I'm trying to be religious. I'm not saint. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a big sinner. I see myself as a sinner, as a big I'm trying not to be a sinner. Don't get me wrong. I'm not proud to be a sinner, you know, but I just, I want to go, I want to get closer to God. And there is a good side of being alone that makes you start thinking about the universe, become more of a scientist. You think more, you spend time thinking more, doing things more, and creativity, a lot of creativity and innovations. I think that comes from you being alone. But at the same time, the question of your existence in the universe links back to the question of the creator of everything. Like if you're alone, you're forced to create your own, to sometimes ask for, question your existence, question existence. If you're spending 90% of a year you by yourself in your room, either building or alone, question you're researching, then you're going to be questioning the universe as a whole. And sometimes when you're questioning the universe as a whole, then you're forced to question your own, like your spirit, or your soul, like if that such existed, if
And when
and
you do
then
those
that.
questioning, what then happen? Because I think that at the end of the day, a lot of people actually are living in the bubble, no? Either they just want some friends to hang around, they drink, they do okay, it's not necessarily that you just drink, but they just like to be in the noise. In that sense, you are not really rooted on the ground. Okay, you are rooted in the community that you are living with, no? Uh, and at a point, you don't really have anything really that much that you can add to this world other than be like another number. Because every other person that have made a significant change in our life now have endured that loneliness, that thing you are referring to, because that is what gives you chance to be able to question even yourself. Because everything can be questioned and everything need to be questioned. Because how long do you think you're going to be in this world that you just take everything that is offered to you as if that is just the way it is? You too need to add to it. Because few years ago, there was no aeroplane. If everybody accepted it, that is the way we are supposed to live, some people will say, if God wanted us to fly, he would have given us wing. That, of course, begin from what is your concept of God. You believe God created you, the Garden of Eden. Now, God give you everything that you needed to do. Then you are supposed to be like the animal in the forest. Because that is the natural world, that the way it was done. For the fact that you cross a river to another river with a bridge, that is not part of the natural creation. That is man-made creation. That idea came from somebody who thought of it, that it could be better like this. And maybe the person started to do it, he didn't succeed, he died. Another person continued from there. So I think we need to
Mhm.
think deep. We really need to think deep. We don't need to accept it just the way it is, that okay, yes, they're going to like me like this, or this is the way it has always been done. No, if we do it the way it has always been done, we will remain what we have always been.
uh yeah, you know what you're saying now. That is the big fight between me and my dad.
Mhm.
That is a big
I'm
fight between
interested
me
in
and my
that
dad.
fight. Tell me more about it.
Um, me and my dad are not the best friends. I'm not sure if this is okay for me to put on social media or anything like that, but we're not at all, you know. And it's basically I looking at myself, being humble as well. I'm trying to be humble as much as possible. I see myself as an inventor. Yeah, creative. An inventor is a creative. An inventor a creative focus on technology is an inventor, because for you to invent things, it has to come from something that doesn't currently exist. You have to create. You have to, there has to be a creative mind for you to invent a new technology. Although you can have a copy and paste type of technology, which is fine, but for you to come up with something that is not currently existing, there is a need for a creative process going on there.